can you tell us what you will be sharing with us today?
Yeah, so today I will share with you the news about the new German packaging law, which will affect sellers, especially that are selling into the German market.
So basically what you will be presenting, it's important for everyone who is selling in German Amazon DE marketplace. So
yes, especially in German, yes.
Yeah, and it's not only for European business, it's also for Americans. It's a very important topic. My next guest is Tobias Fischer. He's the founder of SirMondo, which is a platform for service providers for Amazon sellers. And he's also blogger and YouTuber in German for Amazon sellers in Germany. Hello, Tobias.
Hello, Augustus. Thanks for having me here.
We know each other for a while. We kind of worked on your idea to create SirMondo. Can you tell us a little bit about SirMondo? What's the idea behind that, and for whom is it?
Okay, SirMondo is an online directory platform for Amazon sellers worldwide. And I came to the idea because for my own business, I always found it very hard to find the good service providers that offer good services, and I didn't ever know where to compare and where to find service providers. And I was always looking into Facebook groups. And when you get in there and you say hey, can anybody recommend, for example, product photography services? It won't take too long until you will find 20 comments, and you don't know which one to choose. You have to just try one. So I thought it would be ideal to have a platform, a central platform where you have all service providers and can find all kind of service providers from different categories at one place. That's one thing. And the other thing is that it's important to find reviews about those service providers and find other people who have experience with these service providers, because it's so crucial for an Amazon seller to have reliable service providers, for example, when it comes to logistics, fulfillment, all of this stuff. So yeah, basically that's it. That was the idea behind SirMondo, and that's what we are working on at the moment, to get service providers from all fields to SirMondo. But it's of course it's important that they are specialized to Amazon sellers, and it's important that they understand their needs from Amazon sellers.
Mm-hmm. Great. And today you will be talking about the packaging law in Germany. How come did you get into this topic?
So as I am selling to the German market for around 10 years now, I often got in contact with the strict laws and the authorities in German, and I already got in trouble myself sometimes. And then I just noticed how important it is to really get your stuff done in Germany when it comes to those guidelines. Not all of them are only for Germany. Many of them are EU-wide also. But as many of you know, in Germany, those laws are very strict, and it's the risk is quite high to get in trouble with either the authorities or competitors. So that's why I specialized mainly on my German blog about these topics. Also, I specialize in topics about certificates for products and product safety in general when it comes to importing mainly from China to the European or the German market. And this topic of the packaging law is now one thing that changes. There was already one kind of packaging law before, but now it got even more strict. But more about this in my presentation.
Yeah, actually, Germany already killed email communication for Amazon sellers a few years ago, and now it's a new law. So let's go into this law and let's see for whom is it and what are the consequences if you don't follow this law.
All right. So what we'll talk about in this presentation. First point is what this law is about in general. Second point is what is changing. Then reasons for the new law, why you should act now, especially if you sell to Germany. Who is affected by this law? which types of packagings are affected, because there are there's a difference in the certain type of packaging that you're shipping or that you're selling. And then it's getting practical. In general, on my German blog, I don't want to keep these things too long. I don't want to tell you the same thing that you could read about in the law itself, in the text of the law. That's why I keep this like very basic and very simple. And in the 7th point, I will give you a brief guide on how to register and be safe and get it done as easy as possible. So, what is this law about? The most important facts: on January 1st, the Packaging Act replaces the Packaging Ordinance from 1991. That means there already was a kind of packaging law before, and it kind of ruled the same things as it will in the future, but it just got more strict. And there will be now like some systems how the authorities can prove this and can check if everybody is registered. Both regulations specify the product recycling responsibility for packaging materials in Germany. Sellers of packaging materials must ensure that packaging referrals are disposed correctly. So that's what it's all about. It's about like recycling products in Germany. Especially as we now in Germany, we're very into this like save your environment and keep everything clean. But simply said, manufacturers need to pay a yearly recycling fee depending on the packaging amounts that they sell into the German end consumer market. What is changing? There's a new agency and new numbers. And with new numbers, I mean that there will be a registration number. So until now, you already had to license your packaging materials through a so-called system partner. And this is one thing that will stay. But besides some small differences and some small changes, the big difference will be the obligation to get your company registered at the new central agency and therefore receive a registration number. So this is one very important part of this new packaging law. The register is called Lucid. I think in Germany they call it like Lucid, and it will be public, and therefore it will be easy for the authority itself to check who is registered and who isn't. And also, if you don't register, you can easily be reported to the authority by your competitors. And that is one thing that's not very uncommon in Germany, because that's just one thing that is quite normal, that competitors are like fighting against each other in Germany. So reasons for the law and the background is that in the past, many manufacturers have not fulfilled their product responsibilities. As I said before, there was this packaging ordinance before, and there were like many manufacturers that did not license their packaging before. So those who have complied before with the law have helped pay for the others' recycling, and the authority said this isn't tolerable and created a new foundation, which is called the Central Agency Packaging Register, just referred as the Central Agency, with the aim to increase transparency on this topic and increase control over the compliance with product responsibility regulations in general. So why you should act now? That's like the important thing. And the reason why I really recommend to do it is if you don't register and if you don't carry the system participation for your packaging materials, your products will be banned from the German market by law. That means that the German authorities will be like able to pull your products completely from the German markets and publish a like German-wide law for your products. And that means that they are no longer allowed to be sold by you, neither by you nor by any other distributors. So it's like not only about your company, but it's about the brand of your products. And if you don't register, there will be like fines up to 100,000 euros. So that's one thing. And also, if you don't participate in such a system, it's up to 200,000 euros. I'm not a big fan of these numbers because I know they're usually used to like scare people. But anyways, even if it's not fine, it will not come up to 100 or 200,000 euros. It will be a huge fine that you don't want to pay anyways. So briefly said, it doesn't matter where a company is based. If you sell into Germany, you need to go through registration and licensing. It's like you should just do it. And the thing is that it's like has nothing to do with if your company is based in any European country or in the US. If you sell into Germany, you are obliged to register. In one case, you don't have to register. There's only one case where you don't have to register your packaging, and that's maybe only interesting for people who are doing reselling, but then only if this company, the manufacturer of the products that you are reselling in Germany, has already been licensed in Germany. And that, I'll give you an example for this, could only be the case, for example, if you buy products in Germany from a German manufacturer who has already registered their products there. So in all other cases, if you have your own brand and if you want to sell it to Germany, or if you resell products that have not been imported to Germany before, you are also obliged to register them and to pay license. Which types of packaging are affected? There's a difference in the type of packaging, and mainly there are two, or maybe just for Amazon sellers, there are two different kinds of packaging. I'd say one packaging is the product packaging itself. It's like the carton around your product. The other packaging is maybe the transporting package that you use maybe for shipping your products to an Amazon warehouse. And this law is only focused to packagings that will end up at the end consumer. So I think this is a way how to like really understand how this is meant. And this means if you do any B2B shipment, in this example from your factory or from your own warehouse to the Amazon warehouse, then you are not obliged to license the packaging, the transport packaging, which is like everything around your product packaging itself. So maybe, for example, the big carton with filling materials is not obliged to be licensed. It's always only the packaging that will end up at the end consumer. So how to register? Now it's about like getting practical and to get it done. And it's like, I'd say only 5 steps that you have to go through. First is that you have to register before the end of 2018, because from January the 1st, you are already obliged to have your registration, because from then it will be like public, and from then the authorities and competitors can check if you're fulfilled your responsibilities. Second thing is you have to register your brands. At this link, I think we can put this link below the video then. This is like the central agencies register, where you can register your company. So you need your company details to register, but then you also need to register your brand. And the reason behind this is that the end consumer has to be able to check on the public register if the brand is registered. So if you don't have any own brands, you can simply only use your company name. But if your company like holds several brands, you should register all your brand names. And then before the end of 2019, you need to license your packaging materials using a system partner. I recommend smart24.de. There you can use an online calculator. And in this online calculator, you have to type in all the amounts of materials like cartons, plastics, certain filling materials that you have to estimate yourself, and then participate in the system. It's my personal recommendation. If you have any questions, they offer a great support. So especially I think for non-German companies, it's like this whole topic can be quite difficult. So they are also one company that I partner with for my German blog, and they are very responsive, and they will kindly help you if you have any question using their online calculator. Like one thing that you need to take care of is how to calculate the amounts of product packaging that you sold into Germany. And I know there is no way to like calculate this 100% correct. And I think that's also not what you have to do, but if you have to do any like think about how many products that you sell to Germany, and then you have to like estimate the amounts of certain materials. So through smart24.de, you can then fill the online calculator. And while doing so, while this is the step that it's called licensing, while licensing at your system partner, smart24.de, you have to tell them, you have to sign with your registration number that you previously received from the central agency. So that's also one thing that now changed with the packaging law. After doing so, there's also one very important step, and that's what they do for like having dual transparency. That means that they make sure that the manufacturer, so that you and your company have correctly licensed, but then they also want to make sure that your system partner, in this case smart24.de, has sent them the right amount. That's like the double safety that they need, and therefore you get your data after your licensing at Smart24, and you have to get this data to your Lucid account immediately. So this is the last step after licensing. So following these 5 steps, you will be able to like make sure that you comply with this new law in Germany. And as I said, there will be big potential fines. So one very important step that I highly recommend if you sail to Germany is that you just register yourself at this link here that we put behind this video, and do it before the start of 2019. All right, that's it. That was my steps that I recommend you to do for the packaging licensing. If you have any questions, you can either contact me directly, or you can contact the German system partner, which is also sponsoring this video. And they, as I said, they offer a great service. And if you have any questions, they will be glad to help you with anything. Also, you can contact me if you have any further questions. And also, you will find a link below where we put a guide on sermondo.com on how to fulfill your packaging law in Germany.
Thank you very much, Tobias. Very useful information. Actually, I was getting emails from my audience asking for this information. But to clarify, So you said that first you have to register at the governmental registration office. You get a certain registration number, and then you go to the agent to license your packaging. And this licensing should be done by the end of 2018. So it means we still have a lot of time. Does it mean that there will be?
You mean 2019? So just that's one thing that I also thought could be confusing. So the thing is, they say you have to also already, if you already say sell to Germany, you should already have been licensing your packaging. I think many sellers did not do it because like many sellers did not know anything about it. But officially, you should have already been licensing your packaging before at your like agency. And not to be confused, there's the central agency, which is kind of the authority thing, and then there's like the we call it the system partner or the system provider, where you finally pay to.
So what is this deadline of end of 2019?
So at the end of 2019, to have to fulfill like all steps that you need to do, you need to first like register in this registrar that's called Lucid by the end of 2018, so that you are already registered in the beginning of 2019. And then to end the year 2019, you have to do this like reporting to your licensing partner, and then send the amount that you reported also as a kind of verification process to this Lucid registrar.
By the end of 2019.
Yes, so to the beginning of 2019, you should have registered, and until the end of 2019, you should do this reporting, and that's where you have to,
so sounds like still a lot of time. I mean, like, you have to be registered in the governmental system before the beginning of the year if you're already selling. But then you have the whole 12 months to process your licensing and to find out this legal stuff. So nobody will give you fines for 1 year, basically.
Basically, yes. But the thing is, and that's what I wanted to say, you should have already been licensing. So to be like 100% correct, you should do it for the end of 2018 too, just without this registration at this Lucid register. So I'd also recommend to do this. It's not, I didn't mention any prices because it depends on the amount, but it's not that pricey, and I think it's worth it to pay for this. Maybe around, depends on the amount, but let's say 100 euros for 1 year, and then therefore don't have to fear any fees or fines.
And this fee is, let's say, 100 euros for one type of product packaging per year. So basically, if I have 100 products, I have to pay for 100 euros for 100 products.
Exactly. So let's say you sold 10,000 products to the German market, then you have to put into this calculator the different types of materials. So they have like plastic, carton. Yes. So that's what you should also do.
If I have like bunch of variations of a product, and let's say I have 100 SKUs and all of them are using the same kind of packaging. So the calculator will determine by the type of packaging and how many units. It doesn't matter that the products are different. It's important how big is the package and how is it made. Right?
Yes. So you don't have to sign any units. It's about the weight only. It's like
the weight.
100 kilograms of cartons, 20 kilograms of plastics.
Okay.
And what I find is like very, very hard to estimate. And I ask them how they think that you should estimate this, but I'm very sure they know that it's not practical to do so. So you have to estimate it anyhow. So for example, if you sell your product packaging itself from a certain distributor, then it's way more easy, of course, because then you can see I bought 500 times this packaging, and then you can like estimate it. So it's not very easy but by my personal opinion about this is just that you should like report something to this better than nothing. And that was the actual reason why they started this packaging law, because like only very few manufacturers actually did it and actually like yeah.
And most of sellers, they pack their products into either carton box, paper box, or plastic wrap. So let's say if it's a Lego game and it's a plastic wrap around that game, so this plastic wrap is considered as a packaging, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of questions, and the best is to contact one of these licensing partners, and they can answer these questions mostly, right?
Yes, especially as for now, I think they only have the platform or their calculator in German. So if you're not 100% sure how to do it, they will kindly help you to fill it.
And in Germany, how many are these licensing partners? Smart24.de is not the only one, right? But how many in general?
It's like only very few, but I'm not sure how many there are. Yes, so some of them have like a calculator. That's how I found those smart, because I found it very easy to license there. And but of course the choice is yours, which one to choose.
And the last question, so when you have all registration done, you don't need to print any kind of number on your box or on your packaging, right?
Yes, you don't have to. I especially ask this because this would have changed everything. Yeah. There are some kind of similar like laws, but only for electronic products, where you have to print it on the packaging, print it on the manual, and also state it in your account on your product listing. But for the packaging law, that is not the case. And that is the reason why you have to register your brand names, so that's easy for the authorities, for competitors, or also for end users to find your product easily.
So that means you register all your brands, and the registration at this governmental place is for free, right? And you can do it online?
Yes, registration is free. And you only have to pay to your system partner for the amount of packaging that you've been licensing.
And as far as I know, the fees for such things in Germany are probably determined by the law. So basically, each licensing partner will be asking for the same amount of money, right, for the licensing? Or you're not sure about
that would make sense, yeah, but it's not the case. There are like very small differences. Because I think those licensing partners, they still act as like private companies themselves, so they have their kind of freedom when it comes to pricing. So they all like have kind of different approach, different calculators, and and at the end of the day, it's like your own decision what you like most.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Tobias. I just wanted to say a disclaimer that Tobias is not a lawyer and is not a part of this law. He was just as a hobby, let's say, was interested in this. Everything you heard in this presentation not everything might be wrong. Yeah. Maybe some things might be wrong. Maybe some things Tobias said incorrectly when answering, just because it's such a new thing. It's the same like with a few months ago we had GDPR law with all these European Union email restrictions. So yeah, thanks a lot, Tobias. And can you tell us one more time how you help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, so at the moment I mainly focus on helping Amazon sellers to find the right service provider for your business through SirMondo. But besides that, I do also like consulting for Amazon sellers, mainly in Germany, but also international. And I also do consulting in in terms of digital marketing in general.
Thank you very much, Tobias, and good luck in your business.
Thanks for having me.